Hello, and welcome to Ghostability with myself, Paranormal Mitch.
And Paranormal Tej.
Today's episode is on water spirits.
Yeah.
Which I'm really excited about. I love the water spirits. I think we have a spirit here who I'm very close with who's a water spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And I find them really fascinating personally.
Yeah, so we're doing something a little bit different. This is our first time ever doing this, where we're going to have like a 4-episode series. So we're going to start with water spirits, and then we're going to go into the other elements for the next 3 weeks. So I'm really excited about that. There's some really fascinating spirits from around the world that fit into these categories. So
Yes.
I thought water was fitting to start with because of our buddy who is a water spirit. So
Yes. Additionally, we've gone over a couple of like water spirits already. So we've tried really hard to pick spirits we have not gone over yet.
Yeah. So there are water spirits in other episodes, but
yes,
these are all new ones.
These are all new ones. So I'm very excited about it. We have a couple spirits to talk about.
Yeah.
Are you ready to get started?
Yeah. What is a water spirit,
Oh,
Mitchell?
I would love to tell you. So water spirits are any sort of supernatural being that is connected to any body of water, including oceans, rivers, lakes, etc. Across cultures, they can appear as humans, animals, or hybrids, often able to shift between forms, also known as shapeshifters. They can be protective, bring fertility, wealth, or healing, or be dangerous, causing things like floods, illness, or drowning. These spirits often reflect humanity's respect and fear of water, symbolizing life, mystery, and transformation. People often interact with them through rituals, offerings, or stories, hoping to gain favor or avoid harm. Water spirits remind us that water is powerful, unpredictable, and very sacred.
Yeah, so something you're going to notice is regardless of where they are in the world for the next 4 episodes, there is typically a common theme behind the type of spirit that it is.
Yes.
So regardless of where you are in the world, water spirits tend to symbolize the same couple of things, whether they behave in a very helpful way or a harmful way. They still kind of teach the same lesson. So as we're going over some of these, I encourage you to take note of that and see what patterns you see. We will give you the answer at the end of the episode, but just for funsies, see what you notice that these have in common.
Just for funsies.
Yeah, just for funsies.
I think this is another really cool example of, even though these have developed in other parts of the world, they're somewhat have similar characteristics, which I think is always really interesting. And I think we've noted that before with a couple of different things, but I always think it's fascinating when areas that were not connected kind of end up with something that's fairly similar.
All right. You want to go into the first one? You're up first.
I would be delighted to. So I've been really enjoying some of these African spirits lately.
Yeah,
I really enjoy these. So the first is the Mamiwata spirit from West and Central Africa. So the Mamiwata is a water spirit venerated in parts of West, Central, and Southern Africa, as well as in African diasporic traditions in the Caribbean and the Americas. Her name is commonly translated as Mother Water, and she's associated with rivers, oceans, wealth, healing, beauty, and spiritual power. One thing to note about the Mamiwata spirit is it's known as a single deity. Some of these are known as like a
species.
A species, where this is a single...
One of one.
One of one. That's what you've heard before.
One of one.
One of one. So let's learn a little bit about what the Mamiwata spirit entails. So like we said before, it originates in West and Central Africa, mostly of spiritual traditions, and later develops into other regions like the Caribbean, Americas, etc. Similar to what we talked about last week. Some of the characteristics of the Mamiwata spirit: it is often depicted as a mermaid-like figure with the upper body of a woman and the lower body of a fish or a serpent. In other representations, she may appear fully human or appear holding snakes that coil around her body, which sounds so cool.
There's a lot of snake references with water spirits too.
Yes, there is a lot of snake references. I agree. Or like serpent, dragon kind of stuff. Yeah. She's also commonly portrayed as a strikingly beautiful woman, adorned with jewelry, mirrors, and combs. The mirror symbolizes self-knowledge and spiritual reflection, which is, going to be important. While snakes represent power, divination, and transformation. Her imagery evolved over time and is influenced in part by colonial-era trade images, including depictions of foreign performers and printed art that circulated along African trade routes in the 19th and early 20th centuries. I think is fascinating.
Yeah.
We see a lot of these spirits travel with the people, which I think is often fascinating too. And I think it really shows that the culture is really connected to the people. I think it can be connected to the land, but I think the people hold such a huge part of that, oral tradition and things like that. And stories and rituals and things I think are huge, especially with a lot of these types of spirits.
Yeah.
You know, so the habitat and territory of the Mamawata spirit, it is strongly associated with oceans, rivers, lakes, and other coastal regions. She is believed to dwell beneath the water surface in a spiritual realm that is both alluring and dangerous. In many traditions, she may call individuals into her underwater world through dreams or visions, and those who experience this calling are sometimes believed to become her devotees or spiritual intermediaries. Because of her association with water, she is often linked to trade, travel, and the flow of goods and prosperity, especially in coastal communities.
Very cool.
Fascinating.
Very cool.
Fascinating. We have a couple different things we want to go over. So there's a lot of cultural symbolism with a lot of these spirits, and I think the Mamiwata spirit is not left out of that category. So some cultural symbolism: the water and spiritual depth, beauty and desire, wealth and material success. Once again, healing and divination, a really common one, and then danger and transformation. She is often understood as embodying both attraction and risk, as water itself can help sustain life or take it away. In diasporic traditions, influenced by the transatlantic slave trade, her imagery and stories blended with other water spirits and saints, contributing to evolving spiritual systems in the Caribbean and the Americas. Fascinating. So some of the activities or interactions you may have with the Mamawana spirit are things like granting wealth, fertility, healing, and protection. Devotees may offer things like food, perfumes, alcohols, or other gifts, something really common to a lot of other spirits as well. She is considered unpredictable, and some traditions describe her as capable of bringing misfortune, illness, and financial hardship if disrespected, which I think is a really common theme with a lot of the spirits we talked about, period.
Yeah.
That you treat them right and you respect them, you're going to see positive things. But
Right.
if you don't treat them and respect them right, they're going to, cause you issues.
And especially anything related to an element. Regardless
Yes.
of that be an actual elemental spirit or a spirit that's associated with a specific element, or the elements in general, like Fae. It's very much this: if you treat them and you treat their element, or the planet well, you won't have a problem. But it's when disrespect comes in that you have issues. And I do think that part of the reason why I find these types of spirits so fascinating is because, it's kind of this like reminder that nothing goes without punishment, right? Like you cannot just like be a wrecking ball through life and expect nothing to happen. And I think that a lot of these spirits show up in folklore as reminders to be moral, or to be lawful, because remember, these were written before the laws were written. And these were just, they appeared so long before there was any real structure in society. So because of that, these spirits kind of served as the society's structure and reminder to be moral, to be lawful, to treat others, to treat your planet with respect. And I think that one is a really good reminder of that. So.
Yeah. And I think it's a shame too, because I think some of these spirits get
a bad
sort
rap.
of, yeah, they get a bad rap because it's something like,
because they're not 100% positive.
They're
all
not
the
100%
time.
positive all the time. And if you have someone who's coming into that tradition and they don't necessarily know about this and they're treating something poorly, their only interaction with a type of spirit like this may be negative. And then, all the stories come about how they're negative and all these bad things happen and they're luring people to their deaths and all this, stuff that gets made up about them, even though, they were the ones who kind of started it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a really common theme of some of the spirits we talked about recently.
Right.
Of they're not, not necessarily, benevolent.
Right.
But they have some characteristics that, if you treat them just, wrong, you're gonna have some issues.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Taylor.
All right.
You're up for number 2.
I am. So I am going to be talking about the Selkie, which are shape-shifting beings from Scotland, Ireland, Iceland, and the Faroe Islands. Their name comes from the Scots word for seal, actually, which I think is kind of fun.
That's interesting.
Yeah. In legend, they actually live as seals in the sea.
What?
But they can shed their skin to take human form on land.
Okay.
You see? You see?
I think I'm following as best as I can.
It's an interesting one. So, selkies are most often described as seals in the ocean who transform into humans by removing their seal skin because the skin is the key to their identity and their freedom.
Oh.
So, without it, they cannot return to the sea. So, if they don't have their skin, they can't go back to the sea.
Oh, that's some real symbolism.
Yeah. Yeah. In human form, selkies are usually described as extraordinarily beautiful and graceful, of course. Female selkies are especially prominent in folklore, though male selkies do also appear in some stories. The seal skin is very sacred and powerful for them. And if a human steals and hides a selkie's skin, the selkie is bound to remain on land until it is recovered. So again, it's kind of this like human twist. Like if humans do this, this happens, kind of as a lesson. So they're very closely tied to cold northern seas, rocky coastlines, and remote islands. Many of the legends associated with them originate from the Orkney and Shetland Islands of Scotland, where seal populations are very common. So the whole thing about this, right, is like you don't know if you're interacting with a seal or a selkie, so you need to watch your behavior, kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's this like reminder to be moral and to exercise your values.
Yeah.
They do live in the ocean as seals, but they're also known to sometimes gather on isolated beaches to shed their skins and dance in human form under the moonlight.
I
always
and
pick
I
these ones
love
that love like a
these.
dance
I
party.
love. We have so many spirits that just love to dance.
Just love a dance party.
We just want to dance.
Yeah. So the sea represents both their home and their identity.
Yeah.
So it serves as both. It's not just a location, but it's a huge fundamental part of who they are. The most well-known selkie stories involve a human man who finds a female selkie's discarded seal skin and hides it. Unable to return to the sea, she will marry him and may live as his wife for years, often bearing children.
Yeah.
So they commingle with the humans. However, if she ever finds her hidden seal skin that he hid, she will immediately return to the ocean, even if it means leaving her entire family behind. So this is kind of a way for people to understand, like the woman of the house leaving, which is interesting.
Yeah.
In other tales, female humans may long for male selkies. Some legends say that shedding tears into the sea 7 times will summon a male selkie, although these stories do vary by region. In terms of their symbolism, selkies typically symbolize longing and separation, identity and belonging, freedom and captivity, the pull of the sea and transformation. Many scholars interpret selkie stories as metaphors for homesickness, migration, arranged marriages, or the harsh realities of island life. And this was their way of making sense of that. The tension between land and sea reflects emotional conflict between duty and desire. So in terms of their temperament, they are generally not portrayed as malicious. They're often actually very gentle, sorrowful, and deeply connected to the ocean. Unlike a lot of spirits, a lot of nature spirits in particular, that guard territory or like demand offerings or these rituals, things like that. Selkies are actually usually known for being very tragic figures. Their stories focus less on punishment and more on like yearning for something else. The central conflict for them is often about loss of freedom rather than any kind of like revenge or, I'm going to go after this person. That's not really their nature. In northern coastal folklore, seals themselves were sometimes treated with respect because of the belief that they may be selkies in disguise. So it was kind of this reminder to treat, the animals of the land and the water kindly. So that's the selkie. I love that one. There's something about that one I really like.
Seals are such wild animals.
Yeah.
Because I know like they're so weird looking like on land and they move very slow. They are fast in the water.
Yeah, they're so cool.
Yeah, they're really cool.
I love that one.
Sweet. How fun. Our next spirit we're gonna go over is the knock spirit.
This one may be my favorite.
The really?
Mm-hmm.
This one's pretty cool. I
love this
cool.
one.
The knock spirit is from Scandinavian folklore. It's also known as the Naken in Sweden or Nix or Nixie in Germanic religions. In Germanic regions, excuse me.
You hear Nixie a lot.
Nixie is one you hear a lot.
You hear that one a lot.
So the knock is a water spirit from Scandinavian and Northern European folklore. The name varies by region, like we just heard, but the core idea remains similar. It is a supernatural being connected to lakes, rivers, waterfalls, and deep pools. Okay, so the Knock is particularly from Norway, Sweden, Denmark, and parts of Germany. It is often described as a male water spirit who appears in human form. In many Swedish traditions, he is portrayed as a nude or partially clothed man seated by the water, playing a violin.
Casual.
How nice.
How nice.
Interestingly enough, music is actually one of the defining traits, which we haven't heard a lot about before, which I think is really
No, we
cool.
haven't.
His violin playing is said to be so beautiful and hypnotic that it lures listeners closer to the water's edge. Like many other water spirits, the Knock is a shapeshifter, of course.
Yeah, they are.
In some regions, he may appear as a horse, sometimes called the brook horse, which entices children to climb onto its back before leaping into the water. I would love if I just like there was just a horse there and they were like, "Hey, you want to like go swimming?" I'd be like, "Hell yeah!"
What?
Doesn't that sound so fun?
No,
This guy just playing violin and
No.
just what?
doesn't sound that fun.
That sounds awesome. What are you talking
I
about?
don't know. It's a little outdoorsy for me.
Well, sometimes looking outside is a little outdoorsy for you, Taylor.
That's true.
It's true. So the habitat and territory of the Knock spirit, it inhabits freshwater environments such as rivers, lakes, streams, and waterfalls. And they are often associated with isolated or mist-covered bodies of water. Unlike sea spirits, the Knock spirit is typically tied to inland waters. Deep pools and quiet stretches of river are common settings and stories about him. Certain locations are traditionally believed to be under the influence of a Knock spirit, especially places known for dangerous currents or frequent drownings, which is kind of like that leading people to the water's edge, almost in
Right.
like a cautionary tale kind of way,
Right.
you know? So,
Again, it's helping you make sense of drowning, right?
yes, exactly. Some of the interactions and activities of the Knock spirit. It is often portrayed as luring people into the water where they may drown. Children and young women are common figures in these cautionary tales. In some traditions, however, he is not purely malevolent. If approached properly or offered respect, he may teach a musician how to play the violin with extraordinary skill.
It's very niche.
So cool. There are also some stories suggesting that speaking his name or invoking certain phrases could protect someone from being harmed. Very cool.
Very cool.
So what is the cultural symbolism of the Knock? I feel like this is an important thing we keep coming back to. The Knock represents the danger of deep water, seduction and temptation, the power of music, the unknown beneath the surface, and nature's unpredictability. Many folklorists interpret the Knock as a cautionary figure in communities surrounded by lakes and rivers, and such stories may have served as warnings to keep children away from hazardous waters. His association with music adds a complexity, suggesting both beauty and peril intertwined. Another important part is the Knock. The temperament varies by region. In some traditions, he is known to be dangerous and deceptive, where others he is lonely and melancholic, playing his music in solitude. He is not portrayed as a guardian spirit. Instead, he embodies the alluring and treacherous qualities of freshwater environments. Very cool.
All right.
Very,
like him.
very cool.
I don't know. The
He's kinda
violin
cool.
thing is a fun twist.
I don't think we've heard anything like that before.
No, it's a new one.
I guess like we've heard like dancing and singing and stuff like that, but like an actual instrument is kind of wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my next one is the akushka. If you plan to look this up, it is not spelled like that at
No.
all. It is actually like it's spelled each, and then there's a dash, and then it's UISGE. But it's pronounced akushka.
Mhm.
So this is a supernatural water horse. From Scottish Gaelic folklore.
Yeah.
The name means water horse in Gaelic, and it is considered one of the most dangerous and malevolent water spirits of Scotland.
Okay.
So buckle up.
Here we go. The
We got-
water horse.
We got a spicy one. What's
I don't
with the
know.
horses in the water too? It's a lot of horse stuff.
Water horse seems pretty cool though.
It's cool. I don't know. So the akushka most commonly appears as a beautiful horse near a loch or the sea. Its coat may look glossy and inviting in order to draw travelers closer, of course. Unlike ordinary horses, however, its skin is said to become adhesive when touched.
Whoa.
So once a person gets on the horse, they can't get off. They're stuck to it.
Oh my.
Yeah.
So then what happens then?
Wow, you're screwed, Mitch. Sorry.
Well, I would be so guilty. I'd see that water horse and I'd be like, I want to ride that.
So it is a shapeshifter, obviously. In some tales, it can take human form, often appearing as a handsome stranger near the water. However, it typically cannot fully hide its connection to water, and certain clues will reveal its true nature. It's associated with both freshwater lochs and the sea. While similar beings, such as the kelpie, are usually tied to rivers, the akushka is often considered more powerful and much more dangerous. Remote highland lochs, misty shorelines, isolated coastal areas are common settings in its legends. Usually it's a very isolated place, and you just come across this beautiful thing, and then
Oh my.
communities that were near deep water would often tell stories of it to explain disappearances, like random disappearances or drownings.
Yeah.
This guy took the blame. So the primary activity associated with it is obviously luring people onto its back. Once you get on and you're stuck to the horse, however, it rushes into the water, drowning and devouring its victim.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
So you get on the horse.
Quick pause.
You get on the horse.
Okay, I'm on the horse.
You get stuck to the horse.
Yes, glue skin.
And then it bolts into the water, and you're stuck to it. And then
it eats you?
And then you drown, and yeah.
Wow, that really took a turn.
It was the nastiest one.
I guess.
In many versions of the story, it consumes all of the victim. Like eats the whole homie. Except for the liver.
Did you say the whole homie?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Except for the liver. For some reason, it doesn't say why.
What's wrong with the liver?
I don't know. It doesn't want it. So that may wash ashore later. You might get that part.
Just
back.
The liver?
Yeah, you might get that part back, but the rest.
Okay.
Sorry. When appearing in human form, it may attempt to seduce or deceive someone into coming closer to the water. Some stories suggest that if someone suspects its identity and can reach land before touching water, they may escape.
May.
Okay. I assume somebody escaped if they found out about this.
I guess so. Yeah.
Somebody got away.
Someone had to know about the story.
Right? Otherwise, no, everybody who saw it would be
true.
But
true.
somebody caught
eaten
him.
by the water horse, which is livers floating ashore.
So what does this homie represent? Let's find out.
Tell me.
The hidden danger of the deep water.
Okay.
Deception and false appearances. The power of the natural world, isolation and remote landscapes, and the consequences of carelessness. So the folklorists often interpret the legend as a warning story meant to keep children and travelers away from dangerous shorelines and unpredictable waters.
Yeah, that's a common theme.
Nobody wants to get eaten,
I sure don't.
And its ability to appear beautiful or harmless before revealing its true nature can reflect the way calm water can conceal strong currents or sudden depth.
Yes.
So temperament, as if that wasn't clear already for you. Let's break it down a little bit more. Generally portrayed as predatory and ruthless.
Yeah.
I'm sure you could have guessed that.
Could have guessed that one, yeah, for sure.
Unlike some water spirits that you can kind of appease, even if they have a spicy side, you can kind of appease them with offerings or respect. Not this one.
No.
Rarely depicted as protective or benevolent. You can give that homie whatever you want, and it will still eat you.
Off.
So, no winning this one's heart.
No, seriously.
Not friend-shaped or friend.
Not friend-shaped or friend. But horse-shaped.
Horse-shaped, not friend.
Not friend.
It is often described as more violent than related beings, such as the kelpie, particularly because of its association with both lochs and the sea. And in Scottish folklore, it stands as a stark reminder that the landscape, though beautiful, can be very unforgiving. So, yeah, I don't know. I think it's cool. I love it.
That one was pretty intense.
Yeah, I love that one.
I mean, it's cool. Don't get me wrong. Although I feel like it's like if I'm
bizarre.
If I'm a kid and I'm hearing a story about the water horse that like takes people into the water and eats them, I would be
don't
so
trust horses.
scared.
Don't trust seals. You can't trust anybody.
You can't trust anybody. Anything could be a shapeshifter.
You never know.
You never know.
Yeah.
Could be just some guy playing violin.
Yeah. You never know.
Jeez.
All right. Following that one up with somebody a little bit more peaceful.
Just a little bit. So this is our last one we're going to go over, and this is the Naga spirits.
Yeah.
From South and Southeast Asia.
Our personal favorite.
Definitely a personal
reasons.
favorite for reasons that you may soon find out. So the Naga spirit is a Sanskrit term meaning serpent, and in Hindu and Buddhist traditions, it refers to a class of semi-divine serpent beings. Nagas are often linked to water, rivers, lakes, rainfall, and the underworld. They are especially prominent in the folklore and religious traditions of India, Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, and other parts of South and Southeast Asia. So, some of the characteristics of the Naga spirit, they are principally depicted in three forms. So, number one, entirely human with snakes on the head and neck. Number two, as a regular serpent. Or three, as a half human, half snake being, which is often most seen in Hinduism and Buddhism. Nagas, once again, are considered shapeshifters. I feel like all the water spirits are shapeshifters.
Yeah.
And they can appear fully human, fully serpent, somewhere in between. In several legends, they live in the magnificent underground or underwater kingdoms filled with the treasure and precious jewels. There are a couple of well-known Naga spirits, like from stories and traditions. One is the Shisha, which is the cosmic serpent upon whom Vishnu rests between cycles of creation. Another one, in Buddhist tradition, the Naga Musalinda is said to have sheltered the Buddha from a storm by spreading his hood above him for 7 days and 7 nights. Pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Pretty sweet. So Naga spirits, like a lot of other water spirits, are very strongly associated with water, most specifically rivers, wells, ponds, and rainfall. In agricultural societies, they were often viewed as guardians of irrigation systems and bringers of fertility. They're also believed to inhabit the underground realm called the Nagaloka, which is a subterranean kingdom described as filled with wealth and splendor. Because of this connection, Nagas are sometimes linked to hidden riches beneath the earth. In parts of Southeast Asia, there are very large Naga statues that are placed along temple staircases. These symbolize the Naga acting as a bridge between the human world and the divine world. So cool.
Yeah.
So there are some very unique activities and interactions with the Naga spirits. They're generally portrayed as powerful but very morally complex beings. They're not inherently good or evil, and their behavior often depends on how humans treat the land and the water they guard, which is, I think, a really common theme, almost like a reflection of what you see, quite literally like water.
Yeah.
So when respected, they may be prosperous and bring stuff like rain and protection. But when angered, they can cause issues like droughts, floods, illness, or misfortune. Some traditions suggest that harming a snake, polluting a river, or disrespecting sacred waters can provoke Naga retaliation. Nagas operate on a very broad scale, influencing things like weather patterns, ecosystems, and spiritual balance. So, what do these Nagas symbolize? What do they represent? They definitely represent water and fertility, protection, hidden power, cycles of life and rebirth, and the connection between the earth and the spiritual realm. In Buddhism specifically, the Naga who shields the Buddha represents spiritual protection and awakening. In Hindu cosmology, serpent imagery often represents cosmic energy and creation, such as with Vishnu. The temperament of the Naga spirit. So they are most likely to be benevolent guardians or dangerous adversaries. Many legends present them as reflecting humanity's relationship with nature. If humans live respectfully and in harmony with natural forces, the Naga is protective. If humans act with greed or destruction, the Naga may respond with force. In several regions, festivals and offerings are still made to honor Naga spirits, particularly near rivers and during monsoon season.
All
There
right.
you go.
All right. So, your little challenge at the beginning of this episode, we're going to give you the answers to it. What are the common themes across them?
Hope you were listening.
So, one of them is life and fertility.
For sure.
That is a big one that comes across. It is because water is linked to sustaining humans, animals, and crops. Shape-shifting, plot twist.
Yeah, that was a big
Are you
one.
surprised? Probably not.
Probably not.
They can appear as pretty much whatever they want. Humans, animals, hybrids, reflecting, again, water's unpredictability. Protective or dangerous. Rewarding respect with blessings or punishing disrespect with floods, illness, or drowning. I think this is a common theme across all kind of elemental associated spirits.
Yeah.
Transformation and mystery, symbolizing change, temptation, and the boundary between worlds. Guardianship, which is fun right after our Guardians episode.
Mhm.
Watching over treasures, sacred places, or very specific bodies of water. And then the connection to culture. So they reflect the local values, beliefs, and respect for nature, and how it applies to the society that they're in.
Yeah, for sure. I think these spirits are so fascinating. And I think it's a very strong interpretation of what water symbolizes to humans.
Yep, absolutely.
Mhm.
So that was our water spirits we selected for you guys to learn about today. This episode is not over.
No.
We are going to go into our quick commercial / dance break. And then when we come back, we will have a water spirit of our own to chat with you on her thoughts. And she is fascinating, but we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah, she's fierce.
Yeah, she is. So we will see you shortly. Thanks for watching and stay tuned.
I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain, I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints, money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague, we all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name, all our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to be, living in a time where disease is on every screen, I won't let them fester me, I know most are festering, negativity is a plague for the mentally weak, no mercy, all I got is working, never stop searching, never quite so thirsty, I'm toxic and psychotic, but there's logic, you can't stop it, it's been chronic, since I was a boy so neurotic and chaotic. I'm built to last with the webs I'm weaving, I could change the past with all I'm achieving, got my foot on gas, never stop competing, if you break like glass, then this life's gonna eat 'em, make mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em, if you take off the cast, you can see all the healing, if the pain's in the past, move on from the grave and put your foot on the gas.
Welcome back from our commercial break. We have our spirit of the week. It is Aitan. One spirit that I am very close with.
Yes.
I adore her. I think she's great.
Yeah, and I'm really excited for this episode in particular because Aitan is not a spirit that you see a ton on our social media. She is one that comes with us on investigations. We work with her on a more private, personal level. So she is not all over our social media. And we asked her if she would do this episode, and we told her it was okay if she didn't want to. And she said she would if Mitchell cleaned his room.
Yes, that was very clear. And I did do that.
You did. You absolutely
did. And she said, this has to stay clean. And I said, okay, you got it.
Yes. So Aitan, part of the reason you don't see her a ton is she actually stays in Mitchell's office. We have a couple of spirits that stay in Mitchell's office, and she likes it to be perfection in there. And so right after we did her session, Mitchell's like, now I have to clean. And she said it multiple times too. Like she was like, it has to be clean. That's the deal. And we're like, okay. So, that typical elemental expectation. Okay, I'll be on your episode, but you're going to clean this room.
Yes. And it was very clear. It was just like, hey, this is disrespectful. I would clean the space if I could, but I cannot. This is your responsibility. You must do this.
Yes.
I said, okay.
Yes. So Aitan is a Naga spirit. The last spirit that Mitchell talked about.
Mm-hmm.
She is a Naga spirit. She is fascinating. She is a guardian. She is a guide. And she don't play. She's very, very direct. You will notice that in her how she answered her questions. No room for small talk. She answers the question. She's very direct. She tells you what you need to do. She is known for keeping negative energies out of the water and away from people. So any kind of negative energy that travels through water, Aitan likes to take care of. She has been there for us on quite a few investigations and been incredibly helpful. So Aitan is definitely part of our core investigation team that we bring with us. And you guys sometimes don't even know she's there, but Aitan is always in that backpack, ready to go.
Yeah, I see her very much as incredibly protective, and especially around water, which we've talked about before, but a lot of our investigations just ironically end up near bodies of water, whether
She's
it's
very
a
helpful at
river or a
Bachelor's
lake
Grove.
or yes.
Yeah.
Which was a very not very well treated body of water, and she took great offense to that.
Yes.
Which I think is fascinating.
Yeah.
Yes.
We've done some cool things with her too, where like mediums have channeled her on investigations to help with issues and things like that. And everybody who has worked with Iton, which is quite a few different mediums, investigators, etc. by now, on our different trips, have just been absolutely blown away by her. She blows everybody away. We adore her, so I'm really looking forward to you guys getting to know her better. If you would like to learn more about Iton, her story link will be in the description down below.
Yes.
So
the way we did today's session was a little bit different.
yes.
So
She does not spirit
Iton,
box.
yes, is a very, very, very old spirit. So sometimes with some of these spirits we like to do, or they like to do, like a Ouija board or a more traditional form of communication,
Yeah.
as opposed to something like the spirit box. Now that I think about it, I don't think we've ever done a spirit box.
She has
with her.
never come through on spirit box. She likes like that old school divination.
Yes.
That is her gig. She'll do pendulum, she'll do Ouija board,
Very-
pretty much anything no
yes.
tech.
Very strong
No
with
tech.
telepathy.
One thing that's really cool about her, her activity is fascinating. She also doesn't do like technology for just equipment either. Like a music box, nothing. She has no interest in any kind of the lights, the BS. She's not into it. But for Iton, her favorite equipment is literally a cup of water. So we give her a cup of water. She has a little fountain in Mitchell's office that she loves. And she can actually manipulate water, which is so cool. It is so cool.
You like, it's something that you don't even believe would happen until you see it, and then it like ripples a little bit, and you're like, this is so cool.
It was in her bio, and I was like, ain't no freaking way. You know, I was just like, no, like that can't happen. Like that's not a thing. And then like, sure enough, you give her a cup of water, and like it moves. It is so cool.
Well, and it was funny because when we first got her, like one of the first things she said was like, I need some source of water. So we literally gave her like a cup with water, and I was like, this cannot do. Like, we need to figure out something.
Actually, she's used technology once. This was hilarious. The first day she got here, we unboxed her, and Mitchell and I were upstairs. We were in this room. We are so far away from our downstairs Alexa at this part of the house. It's like not even funny. Like it cannot hear us from up here. And we were just up here talking about something quietly, and we hear the Alexa downstairs talking to somebody. And we've had spirits manipulate our Alexa before. It happens all the time. They look stuff up, they play different songs. We've had them play videos. So we go downstairs and we're like, what's going on with this Alexa? And it says it was going on and on about these are the bodies of water near you, and it was like listing off like the different, lakes and rivers and all of this stuff that were near us. So I was like, this is hilarious. The first day she gets here, she goes on the Alexa and looks up where the nearest body of water is to make sure she like knows. That is the first and the only time she's ever used technology in this house.
Yeah.
She's fascinating.
Yes,
she's fascinating.
absolutely.
But she did find the water.
She did.
Let's
get into some of her questions and answers.
Yes.
Okay. So I asked Iton, are you ready to be Spirit of the Week? She said yes. She then said, are you ready to clean? And I said yes. So hot start. First question is from Carly, aka Vix. They said, hi, Iton. Can you tell us more about the type of spirit you are? The Nagas. I find it very interesting. And Iton said, we often reside in caves, and top priority is keeping the water safe and secure. There you go. Next question is also from Carly. They asked, what is your favorite spot of water, like lakes, streams, rivers, or oceans? I personally enjoy water streams, even if there isn't much close to me, but it's peaceful. And Iton said, I prefer flowing rivers. There you go.
All right.
To the point. Next question is from Spider. Are all or most water elements connected in some way, kind of like how a pool of water is connected together? Great question. Iton says, no, we are distinct, yet cohabitate, like how you share Earth with animals.
Makes sense.
Absolutely makes sense. Side note, she's also like a whiz on the Ouija board. Like she flies.
Yeah, she's
it
really
is
good.
fast. Next question is from Spider. They ask, do you leave your vessel? If so, where do you go? And Iton said, I do. mainly for cleansing. There you go. Next question is from Spider. This was my favorite answer. They ask, do you have any pet peeves? And Aitan said, lack of efficiency.
Why is this your favorite answer, Mitch?
Because I'm terrible at being efficient.
That's why she's your buddy.
I know. Keeps me sane. Next question is from Spider. What is something from your culture you wish more people took part in? Excellent question. P.S. I just wanted to add your vessel's absolutely beautiful. I agree. And Aitan
She's a
said,
Thai puppet.
yeah, she's a puppet.
It's really cool.
Very cool.
Yeah. Very delicate, though. Makes me nervous.
Yes, we're very careful when we travel with her. But to answer Spider's question, Aitan said to worship toward nature and nature spirits. There you go. Next question is from Caitlin. What is your favorite thing to do during the day or night and why? And Aitan said, I fulfill my duties as this is why I was put on earth. Very clear.
Yep.
Yep.
Right to the point.
Right to the point.
Right to the point.
Next question is from Caitlin. Who do you feel you get along with the most and why? Who do you get along with the least and why? And Aitan said, I am solitary by nature and this is respected, so it is no issue. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, she didn't really associate with anybody.
No. Well, she's really like unique in very much like her kind of spirit. Like there isn't a lot of them. And I think her spirit is solitary in general.
Yeah.
So I think that that's just what she does.
Yeah. The one thing that I love about Aitan and something that spirits like Aitan have taught me is like human beings are so damn sensitive and we take words that people, spirits, whatever say, and we like hyper analyze them to like the craziest degree and like come up with these stories of why they may have said it this way, that way, another way. These like super direct spirits, I feel like I have really grown as like a person working with, because you take the words for what the words are. There's no room for interpretation. There's no room to like hyper analyze. It's like the words mean what the words mean the way they said it. And that's that. And it's like taught me a lot about like, like why do we do so much work to hyper analyze people's, communication when sometimes it really is just the face value response. And it has nothing to do with like the exact way that they may have said it or the fact that they were tired that day and may have come off wrong. It's like, just take the words for what the words mean. And these very direct spirits, like I just really appreciate that communication style. And I feel like it's like taught me how to communicate with people better, to be honest with you.
Yeah. It's like there's no room for interpretation because there doesn't need to be.
No, there doesn't need to be.
It's just like, this is the answer and this is all it is.
And that's not our nature, but like I feel like it's a much more like healthy way for me to view communication with other people, because like
absolutely agree.
Sometimes it's really not about you at all. So
welcome to life.
Yeah.
Excellent point. Next question is from Caitlin. They ask, if the others are a bit loud or chaotic sometimes, what do you do and why? And Aitan said, I pay no attention. It is not of my concern. I'm telling you.
Yeah, she does not care that her
really
house is chaotic. She's like a Zen master. She's truly a Zen master, and nothing phases Aitan.
True. This was a great question from Caitlin. They asked, what is your favorite quality about Taylor?
Oh, God.
And Aitan said, driven. That makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
She likes efficiency.
Hey, that's a good answer.
I'm proud of that. I'll take that.
Caitlin then asked, what is your favorite quality about Mitch? And she said, perseverance. I will also take that.
Yeah, we'll take those.
Positive characteristics.
Those. Yeah, I'll take that.
She could have said like late or lazy, and that would have been bad.
Late or lazy.
Next question's from Caitlin. What was your first impression of Taylor and Mitch when you met them? And Aitan said, they are not as one would expect for their age. Which I think
I was
is a good thing.
I was concerned. I was like, does that mean we're like more mature or like
I think it
less
means,
mature than our age? And she said more. Like we
more
act
mature.
older than we are. And I was like, okay, good. Because I was a little nervous. Like when she said that, I was like, oh, God.
Like, oh gosh.
Oh gosh. But she clarified it for us.
Yeah,
so that was good.
Yeah, we haven't had a lot of years of living experience.
I mean, we're
Um,
30, but
yeah,
still.
but we
I
have
was like,
spirits here that are like
yeah. Yeah.
older than us. You know.
I was like, oh God.
Next question is from Danny. What do you enjoy most when you go on investigations with Mitch and Taylor? And Aitan said, I get to provide for them as they do for me in hosting my vessel.
Hosting her vessel is a very interesting phrase. I've not heard that before. I find it, I don't know, I think it's a very interesting way to talk about that.
Well, and I think
Hosting my vessel.
I think it is also a play on clearly the vessel is very important to her. Like there's some obviously very strong connection between her and that vessel, and she, I think, she appreciates what we do, and then as a result, once again, it's like almost like that. The I do this, you do that.
Yep.
Kind of relationship, which is fine, good for me. Next question is from Danny. What is one thing you wish others knew about the water? And Aitan said, how sacred it is and how fortunate you are that it is clean. We know we're fortunate. Next question is from Danny. What would a peaceful or relaxing day be like for you? And Aitan said, fulfilling my goals for the day. I think, with all due respect, Danny, I think the idea of peaceful and relaxing isn't really in Aitan's vocabulary. But I just think it's how she's designed. It's how she is.
She's got things to do.
Yes. I asked Aitan if there was anything else, and she said, "No, I have responded." Appreciate
no
it.
Small talk. See, no small talk. Good. She answered the question. She's also not a spirit. We have a lot of spirits who like come on just to like, chat with us about like little things. Oh, we just want to goof around, or we're gonna talk about TV. No, not Aitan. She comes on to talk when there's something to talk about, or she doesn't talk at all. If she has something she needs to say, she's gonna say it. If we need something, she's going to answer our questions and then she's going to get off. It's like she's got a task. So but that is Aitan in a nutshell, and water spirits. We hope you enjoy this upcoming series. We'll see what element we're going to hit next week. We haven't talked about it yet. We'll find out.
I'm super excited for this.
I appreciate the blue shirt for the water spirits. Is that on purpose?
No.
It looks on purpose. I was like, wow, Mitchell. But thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting everything that we do. And stay tuned because next week we have some investigations coming for you. We have more locations we're going to. So stay tuned for that. Thank you for being here. And we will see you next time. Bye, everybody.